Hey, we are live. Hello and welcome to the Dungeon Tryouts art live stream. We
Was there
are
a pause there? Because we were like, welcome to the Dungeon. Rewind. Dungeon Tryouts live stream.
Dungeon Tryouts live stream. Well, I'm used to introducing a story engine thing. It's been a minute
Exactly.
since we've done a Dungeon Tryouts thing, but it is a Dungeon Tryouts thing. We're going to be doing some live art for you today, as well as doing a bit of gameplay. We are going to be updating you on kind of the Pledge Manager, what a Pledge Manager is, what to expect from it, and we will also be looking a little bit behind the scenes at how we curate prompts for the deck, why we pick certain prompts and cut other ones. But we'll get into that in a sec. Because first, I think it's time for us to introduce ourselves.
Wow, we're like really on the ball for that this time. I think last time we introduced ourselves like 40 minutes into the live stream. We're like, by the way, in case you're just wondering who's yapping at the screen. But
Sure,
Peter,
we'll
I
forget
think
some.
you should introduce yourself first.
Yeah, hi, I'm Peter Chakowski. I'm the creator of the Story Engine deck, a deck of World's Lore Masters deck, and Dungeon Tryouts, and I'm a very silly man.
Wow, I can't beat that intro. I'm Eric. I am also working on Dungeon Tryouts, and I am a slightly less silly man, but only slightly.
Hi, I'm Maroki. I'm the CEO of the Story Engine, and I am the least silly out of all of us. I'm the professional party pooper, as sometimes we say. So there we go. I ruin every quest. I ruin every adventure. I'm the one who cross-examines everybody, and why we're still hiring months later, still for the perfect adventure for our quest.
A perfect adventure for a quest. No, you certainly do not party poop any quests. You have been a delight to have along in our adventures, and also a delight in our adventures has been our artist who's been working on all the art for Dungeon Tryouts, Mr. Andy AC Stuart, who will be bringing up to do some art with us. If you haven't seen Andy's work before, you are missing out. Andy is a multi-talented webcomic artist who's worked on a ton of different really interesting projects. Perhaps you've seen Awoo, perhaps you've seen Ben and Steph, perhaps you've seen Elf and Warrior, perhaps you've seen him drawing the story behind GIFs. He's done so much fantastic art, and we're going to be bringing him up on stage, Mr. AC Stewart. Hello.
Hi. Hey.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
Nobody told me that so many people were going to be silly here. I was not.
Yeah, it's a silly ambush.
I think it says in my contract that I need to be apprised of the silliness of the situation ahead of time.
Well, if it's any consolation, I am the least silly out of all of us. So
thank you.
Yeah, just by default, you are more silly. By default, you are more silly. So yeah. It's been a few months. We wrapped our Kickstarter on August 15th, and that is a whole 2 months ago. Like I had to literally count on my fingers to math this out. We ran our Kickstarter from July 15th to August 15th, and I think it was 3,000 of you, 2,923 of you have come together to help bring our project to life, Dungeon Tryouts, raising over $200,000. And we're actually crawling along to the very, not crawling, edging along. Inching along. I saw Eric write something about it. Inching along.
Edging along is a little bit different.
Well, yeah, we're actually very, very close to unlocking our one of our next stretch goals. So we actually have been counting all our late pledges and eventually our backer kit pledge manager pledges towards our various stretch goals. So that we actually are going to be very, very, very close. I think we're only less than $8,000 off from unlocking our final guest card for our expansions, the War and Peace guest card. So we'll bring our guest booster art pack to 18 cards. Already we have some other phenomenal guest artists participating. Zach, who is our graphic designer extraordinaire, is contributing a stretch card. We have Emery Telsberg, we have Shen, we have Sarah Anderson, Rob from Cyanide and Happiness. We have so many amazing special guests who are contributing to the Dungeon Tryouts guest art booster pack. So thank you all the artists who have contributed, and thank you to all our backers. Keep pledging. So I just alluded to this thing called Pledge Manager, and some of you probably are Kickstarter experts and you guys know the entire spiel already. We actually have some amazing backers who have sort of come forward as like volunteer volunteer community help support whenever someone who is like posted a question. Some of you have been very awesome to step up and be like, hey, this is how you do this. So thank you so much for that. We're going to be opening something called Pledge Manager in the next month. It will come out around the start of November. So if you aren't subscribed to our newsletter yet, be free to definitely do so at storyenginedeck.com, where we'll keep you abreast of like all the new things. And of course, anyone who's a backer, you also will be getting an update from us when we send that out as well. So Pledge Manager is basically the next step in your fulfillment process. It is the opportunity for you to kind of like, we're going to send you out a survey and you're going to get an opportunity to confirm your pledge. So you can double check that you made the right pledge, or maybe you want to upgrade your pledge and you're like, you know what? I decided I want that t-shirt after all, or I want all the things. You can upgrade your pledge at that time. And then you get to fill out your like information, like your shipping, find out where you're from, because at that point we will calculate your shipping costs. We'll calculate taxes based on your region. Like if you're in France or Italy or in Canada, in different provinces in Canada, we'll charge you taxes accordingly. And that's going to be an opportunity for you to kind of like pay whatever difference that there is to your pledge. And we start gathering all the information so that when it's time to fulfill, it will make it really, really easy peasy for everybody. Right? It'll make sure like the package is going to arrive safely in your hands and you're going to get all the details that you could ever need to make sure that your order is correct. The other thing about Pledge Manager is, like I said, this is an opportunity for you to change your pledge or upgrade or add additional items. So like, let's say you have your pledge and you go, you know what? Like maybe I want to buy a couple more Dungeon Tryouts for friends because I think I don't want them to muck up my deck. My deck's too pretty and I take really good care of my deck. But my friend here, Joe, spills soda on everything. So he should have his own Dungeon Tryouts deck. This is an opportunity for kind of you to go into a shop, I guess. Like
kind of reinforcing bad behavior, but that's fine.
Are reinforcing bad behavior for buying more decks, or reinforcing bad behavior for getting sticky, creating sticky
No, just rewarding him for spilling on things.
I mean,
don't mind me.
I'm just like picturing a scenario. Everybody else is drawing from the same deck of cards, and there's just somebody behind like a little glass partition where it's like, you make your mess in here. You have your own cards.
Do you ever do the thing when you like watch your friends play with your game and you see what they do, and they're like, I don't know, they're like the kinds who like pick the corners of their cards, or they're like spinning things, and then you're like, you're like trying not to be that guy who's like, don't touch my cards this way, but also you're like, don't touch my cards this way.
This is why I find it's best not to have any friends.
Life hack.
Well, do we have a game not for you?
Yeah. Welcome to the concept of a party game.
Dungeon Tryouts, the lonely version.
Yeah.
The lonely version of Dungeon Tryouts, where you will win every single round because all your adventurers are the best.
Yeah.
But yes, this is an opportunity for you to kind of visit like our pre-order store, so you can kind of purchase other items for. If you're not let's say none of the pledge levels necessarily, you have one pledge level, but maybe the next pledge level is not the pledge level you want, but you want to add some other items. This is the opportunity for you to have a little shop as well. Now, if anyone has questions today about Pledge Manager or anything, you're welcome to kind of drop it into the chat. And of course, I will have an opportunity to answer them. There's a lot of people in the chat unfriending each other all of a sudden. My goodness. Okay. I did not expect to immediately drive rifts into friend groups today.
I bring the chaos with me.
Bring the chaos and bring horrible friend drama to the group. But if anyone has questions about Pledge Manager, this is like definitely the live stream to be asking about it, because I don't think we're going to be doing a live stream again till probably the new year. I think not to make anyone cry or anything like that, but we have holiday seasons are coming up. I'm sure lots of people have plans for friends and families and stuff like that, and so do we. So instead of all talking to us schmucks on a live stream, we encourage you to spend more time with friends and family as we edge closer to the holiday season. But yes, today you can ask about Pledge Manager. I think we covered the gist of it.
Yeah, I think that covers the gist of Pledge Manager. If there's any specific details you need to know about, let us know in the chat, or you can always post a comment on the Kickstarter page. The link again to the Kickstarter, also the place to make late pledges, is dungeon-tryouts.com. That'll redirect you to the Kickstarter page. You can also ask by putting a comment there.
Yeah. And maybe I should shout out one more quick thing since we have Andy on our live stream with us. I think, because it is open for late pledges, we have one more paint me like your party members tier left. So so that special pledge, you get a chance to have one of your characters, either yourself or a character or someone you love, illustrated into the official game. And you get to provide notes for the illustration, and you get a signed print of the artwork by Andy himself. So then that will be our last one. So if that's something that tickles your fancy and you want to see yourself immortalized in Dungeon Tryouts, there will be one final chance during our late pledges, because I believe once Pledge Manager is open, we're going to close that pledge down. So one more chance until sometime early November.
Yeah, and if you want to be drawn inappropriately for the Not Safe for Work expansion, Andy will do it.
It's true that the tier doesn't say which expansion you go into. It could be main deck. It could be
the Not Safe for Work expansion.
Yeah, it's on the table.
You can send me references, whatever you want to do.
I think we'll need to sign various consent forms as we get into this realm of Dungeon Tryouts.
I'm on record.
Well, I really want to hear a little bit more about like the creative process, because as you know, guys, so one of the things, like the reason why I kind of make a joke that I'm the least fun is because a lot of this work that I specialize in is kind of the logistics and the engine. I'm like the engineer in the engine, like cranking the engine, keeping it going. But I know that Eric, Andy, and Peter has been super, super hard at work over the last few months, making these 500 plus cards, because this is going to be a fat, like when we talk about this as a party game, it's going to be a fat old party game of 500 plus cards plus expansions.
It's like, I think the total number is 740.
Yeah,
that's a lot of cards.
Yeah.
So I know you guys have been like writing. Andy's been drawing. I know we're gonna see some of the new artwork pieces today. I think I even saw one of them become like our thumbnail for today for our live stream. I was like, I don't think I've seen that tree creature before.
Yes, that is a new illustration. And in fact, so Andy will be drawing new adventures for us today. And in a bit of a format flip, we will be, when he's drawing an adventurer, we'll actually be pitching quests for the adventurer. So kind of doing the inverse of the normal gameplay. We'll also be doing some regular things where we pitch adventurers for quests. But I think the quests that we have in our digital hands, because I've sent everybody cards in a spreadsheet so they can like draw new cards from further down the spreadsheet. All the cards we have in our digital hands for quests, I believe, are illustrated now. I don't necessarily have the cards ready on hand, but I can pull up little illustrations to show some of them if we want to. So you'll get to see some new art. You'll get to see art in progress from Andy as he draws. And we can tell you a little bit about kind of how we decide what batch of artwork to send to Andy each week, which is just to say, like, how do we decide what's going to make the cut and is going into the game? Because there's a lot of different things that it takes to like make a prompt successful, and it's different, we're finding, for adventurers than for quests. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about kind of adventure prompts, Eric, and then you can talk a little bit maybe about quests.
Sure.
You were reviewing some earlier today. Our process, by the way, so we've written a ton, Eric and I. We've also done a bunch of writers' rooms with the guest writers who are working on the project, and guest writers have done some solo writing sessions and sent us big packets of prompts. And we'll go through anything that looks really interesting or promising. We'll add it to our big master spreadsheet, and then we'll go through that later and look at, like, is this one absolutely ready to go? Does it maybe need rewrites? Does it maybe need to be weighed against other cards that hit a similar tone or that fill in a similar niche in the game? And we may want to wait to like collect all the best options before we pick one of them, because a lot of the time we'll get material that's a little bit similar and we have to make a choice. So we'll kind of go through and label everything, and things that are just ready to go, we send over to Andy with some notes for what we'd like for the art. And then things that might need revision or play testing, we save, and we'll actually do a thing where we'll draw like 10 quests and run each of them against a particular adventure to see, like, is this working? Because one of the things that we found, especially when you're in a room with a lot of like comedians and comedy writers, is there are so many ideas that are like instantly funny if you're a comedian. But and maybe they're even fun to roleplay if you're a role player. But Dungeon Tryouts is not just for role players. It's not just for improv. It's not just for comedians. It's also a game where like you need enough material in the prompt to make an interesting argument. And that's where you like the party pooper side of my job is like making difficult cuts where like there's a really, really funny joke, but the joke doesn't necessarily add to the way you'd make an argument for this character. And usually those are the ones that we like with heartbreak either have to cut or send back for rewriting because like maybe there's a way that we can take that core joke and tweak it a little bit to give something to make the argument, because every adventurer needs to have like a bit of a drawback, but also a little something that you can work with or argue in certain contexts would be helpful.
Do you have like one that you know is gone for good, like a super heartbreak cut?
Let me see if I can find one.
Do you have one that you know was a heartbreak cut?
A heartbreak cut off the top of my head, no, not yet. But
I feel like I would remember.
Okay, I've got one. This one was cut for different reasons. But a fighter being ratatouille'd by a tiny little mouse was cut. It's really cute. It's very funny. But our generation knows Ratatouille, but like most people under like 25, 24, 23 don't. And this game
Is
we want to
that
be kid friendly.
true?
Yeah, no, just kids don't know Ratatouille. The
Oh,
movie came out
that's
longer ago than you'd
unacceptable.
think.
Unacceptable. I think as a result,
and everybody on the
Came
team
out in
is aged.
2007, right?
Yeah, which is,
I don't know why I know that.
If so, that's almost 20 years ago.
No.
no. That's the lie.
Yeah.
No.
Can it? So that one was cut. We also had other jokes about small things piloting human-sized things. Brainworms piloting people. A demon who's still learning how to steer the persons he's possessed. So we had other jokes in a similar vein that didn't require an understanding of the pop culture reference, and that could work out of the gate. So that was like a really heartbreaking cut, where I think the funniest joke was the Ratatouille one, but it required it was such a specific deep cut of knowledge that we couldn't field it into the main deck. We do have the unlocked stretch goal expansion. This will not be illustrated, unfortunately, but we'll be having 100 cards that were the too silly to print. Where some of the cuts were like, that's a really funny card, especially for someone who wants to do improv, will go. But yeah, right now we're honing down because the card needs to check a lot of different boxes, and every now and then we will let a card through if it misses one box on the checklist. But it has to be really strong in the other areas. At the end of the day, like if we take a one adventurer card and we draw 10 quests, and there isn't an interesting interaction between that adventurer specifically and at least like 6 of the 10 quests, then this is a card that could end up being dead in someone's hand for a lot of rounds in a row before they can use it. And we don't want cards that are too niche, where it's really funny, but the adventurer's gift is too specific and there isn't enough parallels with a broad variety of quests. So a lot of other really interesting prompts also get cut if they're just a little too deep, a little too niche, and that character can't be repositioned in a bunch of different contexts to do something that's interesting and fun. And this is the part of the playtesting that is like some of it will get done live with groups, but a lot of this gets done where you're just drawing cards and playing to see like are we getting a lot of hits or are we getting a lot of misses on this pairing. So yeah, that's part of the process for adventures. But Eric can talk a little bit more about quests.
It's like for quests, it's about making sure that we have I think variety is like the most important thing. I know when we first were starting this game, there was a lot of monsters. It was a lot of defeating monsters. It was a lot of like, or stealing an item from a place. And it kind of all fell into the same vein. So a lot of what we've been doing with quests has been trying to make defeat a monster sound more interesting or sound more different. And so it also, the other problem with defeating monsters, it's like a similar problem to what they ran into with the adventurers, where it's like with the adventurers, you have to make sure that the adventurers can fulfill a number of different quests. So if all of your quests are slay the beast, then any kind of adventurer that has a sword, that is a warrior in some capacity, all of a sudden becomes better. So if you have all these quirky characters, there have to be non-combat things that these characters can reasonably do. So instead of defeating a monster, maybe you have to tickle a monster, or maybe you have to
ride it for 10 seconds.
Yeah, but yeah, like exactly. So it's like it becomes like finding other ways that you can have heroes interact with the quest that you're doing. So it's not some version of the same thing over and over and over again. And not only does that make the quest drawing, when you draw a quest, it makes them more interesting because you never know what you're going to do next. It also gives us more freedom to make more different kinds of heroes because everybody has something that they can plausibly do in any round. There's an argument you can make.
Yeah.
So that's really been like kind of the challenge for quests has just been how do you make this not the same thing you've already done, where it's like it's not just defeat a dragon. I know like one of the ones we drew in a previous last team was put ointment on a dragon with a terrible scale infection. And it's like the A version of that quest is defeat a dragon. The B version of that quest is all of a sudden now you're taking the dragon to the vet, basically.
Yeah.
So it's all about finding things that are very fantasy coded, but then become sillier instead of just doing what you would do in a round of D&D.
Also, there's an instant comedy if you take something high fantasy like a dragon and then you combine it with something very mundane like going to the vet. Where we've been finding there's a ton of really fun jokes in combining, like a high fantasy element, like a fantabulous monster or a spell, but bringing it lowbrow or mundane or into the normal world with like paying taxes or
juxtaposition.
Juxtaposition. That's the word for it.
Very Terry Pratchett. I feel like maybe if no one has done it yet, their homework is all read Terry Pratchett.
I mean, now. Terry Pratchett truly is the master of it. Yeah. So many funny bits that are very modern, but also very fantasy.
Yeah.
At the same time. Yeah. Well, I mean, the and I guess that's the concept. It's not always defeat too. Like the whole rescue trope is very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good moment. There's good enough a segue as any for me to also mention that one of the major special cards that we did during the campaign for our big jobs expansion pack is to lead an X number of penguins across an icy chasm. And it started with 10. And for every stretch, then we had a series of stretch goals that we unlocked to adopt more penguins from SANCOB, which is a organization that rescues South African seabirds, which is really, really important because without human intervention, South African seabirds, including South African penguins, can go extinct by 2035. So because of all you lovely community who has pledged, we have now adopted 60 penguins for the big jobs, and which means Andy will have to draw 60 penguins on the expansion. And we have named and for the last couple of weeks, we've been naming these penguins. You might have seen them in our Kickstarter updates. You might have seen them on our social media. I'm going to share very, very quickly a few names that you guys have all decided to come forward and vote. And I'm angry because some of you guys did not vote for the penguin names that I think that you guys should have had. We have ones like Nat 20.
that is the first. Yeah, the voted ones are started at Nat 20 on that list.
Aurora, Marshmallow, Puddles, Snooter, Pen the Mighty, Empoleon, Disco Waddler, Bubbles, Sparkles, Emperor Pengitine.
Those are no longer voted.
That's okay. These are ones that were still submitted by our community.
They were.
You didn't have to they didn't all have to be voted, and we voted some in, and some were just so good they had to be brought in anyways. Like Emperor Penguitine, Penguendolin. My God, that was a mouthful. Mr. Pear Penguin. Benedict Cumbersnatch,
it's Emperor Penguin.
Oh my God. I took the pun there. Unacceptable. If you guys don't know why I wrote Benedict Cumbersnatch, and if you don't know who I'm alluding to, that was my contribution from something we did a couple years ago. Look up Benedict Now I'm saying his name correctly.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, there we go. Now that I've made his name up as Benedict Cumbersnatch, I can't come back from it. Look up Benedict Cumberbatch and penguins, and you'll know why I decided to make up a name in his honor. So thank you for adopting all these penguins, and a lot more creative quests to come. And I guess I think it's probably worth asking Andy too how it's been like, coming up with new art, and as Peter's been feeding you these various adventures and quests your way. Are there any that you've been like, oh yeah, I know this, and some of you've come and you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can draw this. This is insane.
Probably the worst thing is when he gives me a prompt like a velociraptor with a jetpack, and then he tells me to just draw the head of the velociraptor for simplicity. And I'm like, why would you like? I have to draw the whole thing. It's not an option for me not to draw the entire Velociraptor with the jetpack. No, usually it's pretty quick. I have a good idea off the top of my head. If I don't, then I work on another one until I think of something. But this kind of like
So go ahead.
Kind of rapid fire improv drawing is, I guess, something I have done on stream anyway. So I think it's kind of, my wheelhouse. So, yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Just to go back to the adventure, so like a Velociraptor with a jetpack though is a good example of like an adventure that just seems too awesome if you don't design your game right. Where it's like, why would that ever not win if we're just fighting things?
Well, that was a quest card.
Yeah, that's why
some of the quest cards work really well as adventurers too. That's something that I've been noticing, and I try to make sure that I am not drawing it to look like an adventurer card when it is a quest card. I don't always succeed though. Sometimes they're just too cool.
Yeah, it's every now and then I will shuttle a card back and forth between the adventure prompts and the quest prompts. The argument for keeping it as so in general we need more adventurers. There are fewer quests. So if something works as both, I usually move it to an adventurer. But if it's just too powerful, if it's just like too powerful of a card as an adventurer, then it makes a really great villain for a defeat quest or a like neutralize quest, a capture quest, a distract quest, something like that. So yeah, a lot of cards do get shuttled back and forth, but ultimately you kind of gotta pick a lane. And yeah, for the quest illustrations, you'll see that we are trying to do what are called spot illustrations, where it's usually like it's not a full environment; it's like a particular object that's just meant to like stand in for the quest or illustrate an element of the quest. Which can be tricky sometimes. But Andy's done a really good job of drawing them in a variety of styles and giving a lot of variety to those spot illustrations. And I'll try when we pull up our quests when we start playing quests to maybe pull some of the artwork to show what those look like.
I want to know what Andy has ended up drawing since we've launched the live.
Right. Andy, I'm adding your drawing to the stage. Be ready.
Okay.
Just my little warm-up drawing for the day. Thank you.
See, like I was of the opinion that maybe Ratatouille was back in because of what's the movie Everything All at Once.
Yeah, Raccoon Cooney.
But I guess that was still a little bit niche.
Everything Everywhere All at Once is substantially more niche than Ratatouille was.
Won the Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah.
I know. It is Ratatouille. Ratatouille.
I think Ratatouille is back in the zeitgeist, I think. We're safe to make as many Ratatouille jokes as we want.
I like how what JP was saying.
I'm trying to think of like an example of like trying to think of like an example of a movie that would be like 20 years ago that like somebody would reference like 20 years from when I started paying attention to movies, like get into my head that Ratatouille is the same thing to somebody now as when when I was a kid. If somebody brought up like, I don't know, Pretty in Pink or something, that's like that. I was like a baby when that was
the Great Mouse Detective. So, we'll keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that like young people don't know who Avril Lavigne is anymore as far as music goes. And it's like, love her or hate her, it's like, well, what do you mean you don't know that Avril Lavigne, like, know of her?
Yeah.
Like, no.
That's complicated.
So again, welcome. This is our Aging Millennials live stream that we've organized. But speaking of people who are a little less old than us, I think it's time for us to bring on one more guest who's going to be joining us. In a minute, we'll kick things off with having Andy do some adventure artwork. But we're going to be bringing on our graphic designer, a frequent collaborator, and he's also written a few cards for the game as well, Zach Schuster. Hello, Zach, and welcome.
Hello. How's it going?
You're going to keep us fresh and young because we have all identified that we're very old on this live stream, and people don't understand pop culture references like Ratatouille anymore. So
I missed the good old days of Gen Con this year when I could say like, oh, I'm still like a carefree 20-something, but I am now 30. So I can't relate to you guys. I can't relate to the kids.
Okay.
Now, I'm still healthily in my mid-30s.
So like Ratatouille to you is like Casablanca to us.
I don't think I saw it.
Oh no!
There it is.
I'm familiar with the premise, but
So I think maybe the goal is we somehow need to write to Pixar, and we're going to do a collaboration where we create a card for them, and we're going to revise like in the bottom of the card will be a tiny thing that like I don't know gives them a special one-time link to watch Ratatouille the movie. We will revitalize the movie, and we will all become multimillionaires for this collaboration because we'll make a few cents every single time.
I like how it's like, yeah, pause this fun, fast, you can play it in less than a half-hour party game to everyone watch a 2-hour animated film so that you can get the joke that we didn't want to cut. It's perfect. It's a flawless plan.
Everything everywhere all at once already revitalized Ratatouille.
That's what I said.
The cultural.
No, see, apparently
mindset.
it didn't because I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is just even more niched in Ratatouille. But you know what? I think about Kate Bush's Run Up That Hill song and how he was gone, and then Stranger Things brought that song like back to life 10,000 fold.
That's it. I need a hit TV show, and I need to feature Ratatouille prominently in it.
Yeah.
Or Pixar just made Ratatouille 2.
It's true.
Ratatouille 2E, yeah.
Ratatouille with like
numeral 2E.
Yeah.
Like it's right there. It's right there, baby.
Pixar
obligatory.
I mean, you could do Ratatouille 3. Come on.
Pixar, we demand residuals when you make these movies.
Because it takes a while in France. The fourth one could be like quatratouille, like the French word for four. You could really torture it. You could really smash this out.
As opposed to what we did for 2 and 3. Yeah.
Yeah, which was I think no welcome overstayed there.
Ratatouille Tokyo Drift.
Perfect. Yeah. Incredible.
Okay, but Vin Diesel has no hair for the rat to control.
Oh, interesting.
That's where the worms
That would be an interesting plot point.
I think this is where the worms come in.
Yeah, this is where we have to bring in the brainworm operative. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to take 1 second here and see if I can reorganize our screens so that Zach won't be cut off when we start having little banners come up at the bottom showing our card text. So give me 1 second. How does this work?
Occasionally censor him. Oh, now we censor everybody.
Don't mind.
So that's useless. What happens if we put up a banner here?
We don't see.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Dynamic movement.
Yeah, I think this will do. And then I'm gonna move Andy over, switch places with Zach, so that we got all the players together, and then Andy, who will be interviewing us on the far right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Andy, I'm gonna give you a choice here between 2 things that you could illustrate. And you know what? We'll put a little vote in the chat too as well, but everyone will get to place a vote. Andy's vote counts for 3 votes, so it's got to be a heavy outweighing to beat him. But Andy, do you want to draw? Going to our little art queue in the document.
Big shout out to the Ratatouille fan in YouTube right now.
Fan.
Yeah, Jay Lucian.
An artificer with a chainsaw that won't turn off, or a cheerleader bard.
Okay.
Wait,
the chainsaw's definitely harder to draw.
So an artificer with a chainsaw that won't turn off.
Okay.
Or a cheerleader bard.
I'm choosing one of these.
Yeah, but first we'll start the vote, and then we'll get you to name where your vote goes, and your vote counts for 3.
Oh, okay.
So chat, you can vote for artificer, or you can vote for cheerleader, and you can go ahead and start voting in 3, 2, 1, vote. Andy, which way are you trending right now?
I'm gonna go with the cheerleader bard for simplicity.
Okay.
Because I feel like the artificer one is one that I'm really gonna want to put my head down and put a lot of detail into.
Great. That's got the first vote from the chat. All right. So
I vote for the artificer in case that matters at all.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to vote for Beastmaster followed by a flock of unhinged seagulls.
Okay, so that one's not on the table right now. That's for the next one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's shots fired.
Yeah, you can call the coward.
Fair. No, fair. Hold on, let me change my description.
All right, I'm going to abstain from voting because I want to vote for Artificer, but I would feel bad.
Oh, you let it
putting
out. You
Andy on the
slipped
spot.
it. It's out. It's out into the wind.
Eric, are you placing a vote?
I will vote for the cheerleader.
Lies. Lies.
I was going to do the same, but I wasn't as brave as Eric.
Okay.
Cheerleader.
All right, so we've got counts as 5 votes for cheerleader, 2 for Artificer.
I'll
yeah,
change my
Andy
vote
has-
to Artificer at the last minute to make the crowd happy.
which is just a different kind of cowardice, really.
Yeah.
So Andy has changed his Andy, who you have to throughout this live stream and future live streams and past live streams, you have to watch how his tag underneath his name changes because he updates it a lot and it's always very funny. I'm also as Zach has changed his to wait, we can change these, but the font is pretty small, so I don't know how many people can make that out. But yeah, delightful. Abusing the StreamYard system, and I love it.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. So it is going to be a cheerleader bard. And what we are going to do, each of us is going to open the little live stream Google Sheet. You're going to navigate to your quests hand, because your quests hand is separate from your adventures hand. And each of us is going to pitch a quest for this character as Andy starts to draw it. Chad, if you've got any questions that you want to ask ask us as adventuring agents trying to pitch a first quest for this cheerleader bard who wants to become an adventurer, you can go ahead and add questions for us. But in the meantime, we are going to hold fake hands of cards as we pretend to choose one of these, but in fact, we're choosing from a digital hand of cards.
And as a note, like this is actually Peter's like other subversive way of playing Dungeon Tryouts. So typically, the mechanics
Yes.
of Dungeon Tryouts is that you draw a quest, and then you pitch an adventurer for the quest. So, but because we are getting ourselves a brand new adventurer today, it seems only appropriate that we pitch a quest for the adventurer, and it just shows that you can actually do different ways of playing Dungeon Tryouts.
Indeed, it's one of those mix 'em up formats. All right.
Wait, so are we pitching for the cheerleader or the artificer? Right now, I'm not sure. If
The
this is a
cheerleader.
This is a cheerleader. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Perfect. I
I
thought
definitely started. I thought I switched to the Artificer, but then I
Oh.
just started drawing the cheerleader. So I don't know.
perfect.
I don't know what's happening anymore. I
Okay,
think
hold on.
I think the final lesson here is that the vote didn't matter at all.
Andy, who are we pitching for? Because this is
I
this
am
is your-
drawing the cheerleader right now.
Okay.
It's gonna be a cheerleader, and at the end, it's instead of a pom pom, it's gonna be 2 chainsaws. That turn off.
Perfect. Love it.
So
A
very good.
cheerleader who uses 2 chainsaws.
Great.
Perfect.
New card. Okay. So a cheerleader bard.
Oh,
Okay. I feel like I've already done this pose that I'm imagining like this with the dwarf already. I need to change the pose up a little bit.
Okay, I think I have mine.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
I'm ready.
I think I'm ready.
All right, then we will go from left to right. So I will go first. I would like to present you with the quest to win a dragon race. So this is like a drag race, except you're flying dragons. And I just
Oh.
think that in racing, it's really the animal that's doing all the work. So the rider is mostly dead weight, unless you have a rider who's really good at motivating people. Imagine you are taken to the skies. You're going to have to compete and be at your best, and the person in your corner and on your back is just fully there to cheer you on. They're letting you do your thing. They're not getting in your way. They're not like jamming their heels in to try and like kia you at the wrong moment when they don't get you. You just get to do your own thing as a dragon, and cheerleaders just there to rah rah rah. And I think that would be a great combination, and that's why I would like to pitch you. Win a dragon race, and I believe we do have art for that I can pull up at some point. That's my pitch. Win a dragon race.
That's a very good pitch.
Do you have any
It all makes
questions for
sense.
me?
Well, see, I'm imagining the quest. So, like, tell me about this dragon. Is this like is everybody riding a dragon? Am I riding a dragon? Like, what's going
Everybody's
on
riding
here?
a dragon, and you,
Okay.
AC Stewart, can be there and ride a dragon as well if you want. I'm not going to stop.
Okay. That's very nice of you. Thank you.
You'll need to sign a waiver.
Okay.
But yeah, you can totally have your own dragon. So that sweetens the pot.
That's great. That that feels like you're trying to bribe me a little bit, but that's fine.
Cool.
It's an important part of the game. Everybody take note that I like being bribed. No, I don't think I have any questions. I think that was just a very solid presentation.
Great. Then I think we will move on to next up would be Eric.
So I have a quest that is to inspire a tiny mammoth.
Okay.
It is my pitch is very similar to Peter's, but there's actually one wrinkle here, because the problem with Peter's quest is that at the end of the day, you are still relying on the dragon to do the work. Like, say you end up on a dragon that just really sucks at drag races. Like, you can inspire it all you want, but like, if you're up against like the LeBron James of dragons, you are still going to lose. Whereas this mammoth doesn't even have to do anything. All you have to do is inspire it. All you have to do is give it a little bit of bardic inspiration. And that's literally all a cheerleader does. So my quest, success ends once you've just given that tiny mammoth a bit of hope. Tiny mammoth doesn't have to do anything after that. And we're golden.
Okay. A quick question though. How'd that mammoth get so little? How'd he get so small? And I want you to imagine I'm like talking to my dog who's small, and I'm like, "How'd you get so little?" Like, that's my first and foremost my question for the mammoth. How you get so little?
I mean, that's not really my place to say. I'm not the bard. I'm just arguing on behalf of the bard. But to actually answer your question, it's because it was cuter that way.
Oh,
in fact, I can tell you quite confidently that cheerleaders love cute animals. Are like
That's
this
an assumption.
It is, but I think it's a correct one. I think they will that this bard will be very excited to cheer this mammoth up, maybe with like a little bit of water, some cheers, some soft pets. Yep.
You make a very strong case.
This feels like an accusation. I mean,
do you have any insight onto why the mammoth is feeling down or needs inspiration? Do you have any?
Probably imposter syndrome. It's still hanging out with some much bigger mammoths, and it doesn't, goes to the mammoth park, and it sees the big mammoths running around, and it's a little bit insecure. But we can pump it up and say it's hey, you are just as good as these other bigger mammoths. You are still 100% mammoth, just in mini form.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't the mammoth's grandma died, and this is just a really tactless attempt to, he's like, "Oh, cheer up, buddy." He's like, "I will process my grief in my own time, thank you." So.
No, we're just trying to get his ego boost up, get his self-confidence.
And one more question about the mammoth. Is the mammoth cool about being little in a cute way, or is it kind of like a Napoleon complex? It makes it everybody else's problem.
It'll be cool about it once we're done cheering it up.
Okay. Which implies that maybe this mammoth wasn't that cool at some point. Maybe he went on Reddit and posted some misogynistic stuff about how women won't go out with him because he's so tiny. I'm just him. This is the mammoth we're talking about. Great.
But imagine if he was
women are all the same. I don't know. I always go for the tall idiots.
So anyway,
that's my argument. I factored in your pitch. I'll put it under due consideration. Let's hear what Maroki has to say.
So I was thinking about 2 counters, 1 counter for Peter and 1 counter for Eric before sending my pitch in. So for Peter, it's lovely that this cheerleader is inspiring the dragon, but in the end, the cheerleader is still going to offer it's still going to be some dead weight on the dragon. The cheerleader is cheering intensely, it could actually disrupt the concentration of the dragon, the drag race as well. Now, this is also and then for inspiring a mammoth, I was thinking about this. It's cheering a tiny mammoth is not the same as inspiring. They're actually 2 very different words that require different kinds of language. You know, when you can just rah someone on, you're assuming that they are already going to do the task. But inspiration requires like considered language and special language to kind of lift them out of whatever funk they're in. So just something to note there. They would assume that the cheerleader is more than just someone who's memorized certain routines. So I decided to pitch the quest of spend 5 minutes in a pit trap with a robot vacuum wielding a butcher knife without getting cut. And here, we're not necessarily focusing on the cheerleader's cheering ability. We're focusing on the cheerleader's incredible athletic ability to dance around the robot vacuum wielding a butcher knife. First, it's a robot vacuum, so we know the robot vacuum only has a limited number of intelligence, anyways, and has certain patterns. It'll be very easy for someone as nimble as a cheerleader, as we can see from the art. Actually, the art very clearly shows us that the cheerleader bard is very nimble on their toes. Like, look at that point. That point is spectacular. I don't have a good point like that, and I actually do circus. I think it'll be like a complete shoe-in to avoid a pit trap with a robot vacuum with a butcher knife for only 5 minutes. It's only 5 minutes. Like, cheerleader routines alone are like 10 minutes at a time.
So just to be clear, you think that a cheerleader is more specialized in dodging knife attacks than inspiring? Are you going on the record saying that?
I mean, absolutely. Like I said, cheering is not the same as inspiring. Inspiring means, like having a really good speech in hand and being able to tap into the wound that requires the inspiration. But on the other hand, cheering is just like, yeah, go. Here's my poem of the day.
That's a very dismissive argument of what cheerleading is. Cheerleading is so much more than that.
Can you give me 30 seconds more examples of what you think cheering sounds like?
And chord.
Is so cool. He doesn't need to go to school.
Wow, what a terrible message.
So here's the thing. I would just say, if in terms of the semantic distance between cheer and inspire is much closer than the semantic distance between cheer and dodge knife attacks in a pit trap.
Okay.
Those two things are much more different from each other in terms of being a core skill set than. And I'm not even arguing for myself anymore here. I feel like if that's the size of that quibble, that same quibble is much bigger.
I do understand. She's arguing for the athleticism of the cheerleader.
Yeah, Peter, have you ever seen cheerleaders at work and play? They constantly have to make micro decisions, make sure they avoid severe injury. Like if they're being flipped,
they also have to inspire stuff. I would say that's in fact more of a specialized function than they have than dodging knife attacks.
Have you ever gone to a high school football game in Florida? They have to dodge knives all the time.
And I would argue that
that's the UK. They have to dodge guns in America.
Yeah. Actually, I can use that because the ability to adjust and make body movements in a split second and to react that way, and that athleticism is still a valuable asset in a dragon race, is what I'll say, as well as the ability to motivate and cheer your mount, your steed.
Fair.
But I think we're probably due to hear from Zach on exactly what he thinks.
I forgot there was another player. I'll be so honest.
Well, my pitch also involves disparaging cheerleaders and their athleticism in all aspects. Actually, no, Maroki didn't disparage their athleticism, just their general value.
For it.
I was going to do that too. My quest is to cleanse a haunted musical theater where the ghosts are constantly singing over each other. And I thought, who's better suited to out obnoxious musical theater ghosts than somebody who's used to talking over crowds and yelling and shouting and drowning out that kind of noise. So
that's
kind of a Ghostbuster situation where they out obnoxious these ghosts. I think that's our man for the job.
Wait, are we was that what was the quest to out obnoxious them, or do you just have to just clear them
cleanse a haunted musical theater? And I think the best way to take out these ghosts is to drown them out and make them want to give up their musical ambitions.
Are you sure that we don't run the risk here of making the ghosts happy?
Make no mistake, I don't want to be there to hear any of this, but I think that they could drown them out.
And what if the here's what I'm thinking is maybe you're really running a risk here, because I think maybe you will encourage the ghosts, and the ghosts will be like, well, now that we have an audience, let's really double down. And but the flip side of that is maybe getting an audience to appreciate their performance is their unfinished business. So, it could go either way.
That's very true. I like to put my trust in your bard there. I think he will have the social finesse to understand what the ghosts need.
It's how do we know that the cheerleader and the ghost just won't join sides?
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty horrifying.
There's a lot of theater kid energy.
Like here, Queen of Rats. What if we inspire the ghost to keep singing though?
Yeah, that was my concern. Is like, it's possible that they will
what we're describing is a nightmare scenario for me, so I might have to gracefully bow out here and just have your bard be stabbed to death by a Roomba.
Okay, well, you withdraw yourself from consideration.
Yep.
For fear.
No, that sounds horrible. I don't want to unleash that into the world. You're so right.
Well, audience, if you guys have other questions for any of us about our quests, or if you believe any of these quests is the best suited for our lovely cheerleader bard, you can either cast your votes in the chat or cast your defense or argument to help convince Andy, because I think Andy penultimately will have to make the decision, unless we're going to do the Andy gets 3 points and the audience gets 1 if we allow them to vote. Peter? Peter might be muted. I think I see his lips moving.
Yeah, sorry. I keep eating very crunchy grapes, and I'm muting myself when I do that for the sake of our chat. Yeah, I think let's do 3 votes for Andy, 1 vote for members of the chat, and then we'll just count them after like 10 seconds or something.
Is that really the right word for the noise that a grape makes, though? Crunchy?
Some of them can be.
Did anybody else have an issue with that? Am I the only one?
I don't know. I like to drink my grapes. Couldn't tell you.
Well, let's do a vote first for what is the correct adjective for the sound that a grape makes, and we'll resolve the gameplay. No, I think let's go ahead. You can vote for, and we'll just go by player name so that we don't have to shorten the quests. So you can go ahead and vote for Peter, Maroki, Eric, or Zach in the chat in 3, 2, 1, go. And in the meantime, let's hear from Andy about who do you think you're voting for with 3 votes there.
Oh gosh, I think that I wanted to keep an open mind and hear out what everybody had to say. I wanted to allow myself to be persuaded, but it's just so on brand for a cheerleader to inspire somebody. That's like what they're for.
That card came out.
I understand not everyone here agrees with that for semantic reasons, but
as a DSL person, semantics were very important for me growing up.
And another thing that I want to point out here is presumably there are potentially other people being considered for this job. And I don't want the cheerleader to be the one riding the dragon if like the next candidate is professional dragon rider who has like a minor speech impediment as his drawback or something, I just think there will be somebody else more qualified for riding the dragon. And I frankly, I don't think the Roomba is that dangerous. I would get in a pit with the Roomba for like $5. I think that's how much you would need to give me to get in the pit with the Roomba. I think the average person can avoid the Roomba.
Wait, do we have to
need a lot of athleticism for that? So if all we care about is,
do we have to amp up the Roomba, Peter? Is this the sign that we have to make it like
it could be like an AI, like a really powerful like AI robot vacuum?
So I think that yes, we do. The original prompt was covered in butcher knives, and then Andy pointed out that it would be funnier to have one prominent knife, and I'm like, I agree. But that means we'll need to go back and add something like it has super speed, or the pitch weapons are small, or you have to do it for like 24 hours.
Not dangerous.
So, but we will amp up the pit trap.
It's an important consideration for me as the person choosing here is like, which quest am I choosing? Which quest is best suited for this particular person? Or am I choosing which quest is the most likely to succeed? Because I don't think you can fail the Roomba one.
I feel like
that's
I
just
want to
like
see you
free.
do that in the next live stream. We'll just have Andy in a room with a Roomba and the knife, and
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
test
ready.
this for
Peter,
real.
What if the
Like I said,
quest is to,
$5.
what if
Drop it in the
quest
dono
is-
box, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to the mammoth
Woohoo!
here. I think the
I mean,
mammoth being inspired. And there we go. There's our little cheerleader dwarf.
Peter, real-time modification to the Roomba quest. What if it's to baby-proof a room being cleaned by?
Oh, actually, we could play test that. We can play test that for sure. That sounds
Yes.
interesting.
Or like the Roomba has ChatGPT and it's like telling you what's wrong with you while you're doing it. I don't know. That's just my nightmare.
It's demoralizing you while it tries to stab
Yeah.
you slowly. Nice.
If we actually put ChatGPT into our quests, we will be obsolete again in 20 years.
Fair, yeah.
What it's like, man, there's no Ratatouille references, but like after I've seen Ratatouille 7, I wish they had some of those. But
Wish they stayed more culturally relevant with Ratatouille 7 references.
yeah,
I am gonna make a bet with everyone here right now that 1,000 years from now, Ratatouille will still be culturally relevant. I'm making that bet. I'll risk any amount of money on it.
$5 you get from the knife thing next time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should we put in ChatGPT to ask?
Boo.
The only thing that's good for ChatGPT is really weird forecasting scenarios that have no reference points or data relevances that we can just watch it drift.
Resolving arguments that there's no good way to actually mediate. So you're just like, we may as well ask a next word predictor and see what it comes up with.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's time for another art prompt for Andy to draw and another round of pitches from us.
Yeah.
If that sounds good. So Andy, we're now reducing you to 2 votes. You'll find that your power erodes the longer the live stream goes on.
This is gerrymandering.
All right, so having
need
gerrymandered
democracy.
out of power, so we have got a beastmaster followed by a flock of unhinged seagulls, and we have a meat-omancer whose only power is summoning meat. So, chat, you can go ahead and vote for beastmaster or meat-omancer, or just meat if you want to put in short. In 3, 2, 1, go. And we will also all cast our votes. And this time, so that Andy can't make us feel bad, we get to vote first. He votes last. I'm in the mood for a meatomancer, I think, myself.
I am also going to vote for Meatomancer.
Wait, if a Meatomancer summons meat, technically you can summon humans too, then, right?
I think it is just like finished. It's not summoning live meat. It is not summoning a cow. It is just summoning like a steak.
I think like part of the reading of it is that it is what you would imagine a Looney Tunes cartoon image of meat to be.
Yeah. And to be clear here, the art notes are a spellcaster wielding a barbecue spatula, so like that's their wand, as a steak or pork chop appears in the air. So the art is going to imply the ability to summon cuts of meat and not whole animals.
I feel like they should be in like a satanic circle, and they're like doing some necromancy thing, but only meat appears.
All right, PETA.
All right. Nice.
I'll do the Meatomancer.
I want
Okay.
seagulls.
All right, 3 for Meatomancer, 1 for Seagulls. Let's check the chat.
They're questioning the
No
meat.
votes in from the chat yet. So then, Andy, you count for 2 here. You could tie things up.
Oh, okay. What are the votes currently?
We're 3 for Meatomancer, 1 for Seagull Beastmaster.
I could cause chaos just by making a tie vote, and then we just have to end the stream, right?
The stream collapses.
Until literally anybody in the chat votes.
I'll go for the meat because everybody is voting for the meat.
All right.
We want meat. We want meat.
You can draw like a seagull drumstick, so you can bring a bit of seagull into it.
Yeah,
so
you just have to imagine that it's seagull.
So I realized I forgot to replenish my own draw pile. It's the one tab of our spreadsheet of quests that I don't think I got to refill. So I'm going to quickly find an unassigned quest to drop in there. me see here.
Okay. I think I know. I think I have to quickly research something to make sure that I understand this quest. Great, I do. I now have my quest.
Okay, and we are pitching for a metomancer here, eh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Oh, this one's good too. No. I think this one's like a win. No. I got the win.
All right, you heard it. Maroki's got the win. Sorry, everybody.
All right, I've got mine.
No, just pack it up. No need to finish this round.
All right. Everybody's good?
Give me. Yeah, I guess I'm good.
Okay. And we'll rotate who starts this time. So this time, Eric, you're starting the least prepared. Eric,
Yay!
who would you? What quest would you like to pitch for this metomancer?
I am going to pitch the quest to disarm a giant spider wielding 8 nunchucks.
Okay.
And this one is really just all about giving the spider something that it wants more than nunchucks. Every animal needs to feel like, what is the spider doing with this? It's not even like a ninja. It's not going on like secret quests. It's just a spider with some nunchucks. But like really, it's just all about needing to feed. And if I have a steady supply of meat to give to this spider, then he doesn't need the nunchucks, and the spider can just like drop them to go pick up more meat and take it back to its web. That's the pitch.
All right. Any questions from anyone?
So many.
We'll give Andy
Okay.
first crack.
Are these normal spiders? Like, this is a spider with 8 nunchucks,
It's a giant spider.
and does it specify 8 nunchucks?
Yes, it does specify 8 nunchucks.
So it is laying on its body on the ground, wielding the nunchucks with every available limb. I just want to like visually clarify that for myself.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Maybe the
I'm not
spider-
sure.
Maybe the spider is so good at wielding nunchucks that like maybe 4 of the legs are like in the ground, like the nunchucks have been like stabbed into the ground, and you're like climbing it, and you're using it to climb like pegs.
Because spiders famously need peg support to climb things.
But it can double as like a weapon wielding limb at the same time.
I mean, surely if you had 8 nunchucks, you could be floating like a helicopter, right? I get why normal ninjas with 2 arms can't do it. I understand the physics behind that, but I think by the time you have 8 of those things going around, I'm pretty sure you're propelled up in the air.
Really
That sounds
important
right,
point
at
to make
least.
here is that spiders' legs are hydraulic, and they extend them by pushing their blood into their limbs, and they curl it back up by sucking the blood out. It's not relevant. I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
That's
very
like when
cool.
spiders die, their legs curl up is because they don't have any blood pressure left.
Uh,
It's just something for you guys to think about.
I did not know that. That is like I thought this was gonna be like a Wild Wild West like joke.
Wait, but does that apply to flies and stuff too then? Because when I've seen some flies like die and they curl in too.
I don't know. My degree is in advanced spiderology, and I don't know anything about flies, and frankly, it's a little offensive that you asked me.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
All right. Well, then I think we've got Maroki pitching next.
So the quest I'm pitching is herd 6 unimpressed dire cats into their crates. Which I think is
Self-explanatory, really.
very self-explanatory. I don't even think I need to like elaborate on why the metomancer would be the optimal adventurer for this task.
What kind of meat are you summoning? I'm just curious.
Any
What would you
meat.
recommend?
They're unimpressed dire cats, but like a metomancer can literally summon any meat they're looking for. You want that seagull drumstick? You've got the seagull drumstick. You want humpback steak? You got humpback steak. Like every delicacy that you can have is now
Really?
at your fingertips. You can just try. And you know what? If you fail the first time, you can just try different lures until you get the one that the dire cat needs to go into the crate.
That's a very
Now-
tight match. The only thing I can think of, and this, by the way, is one of our dire cats here for the illustration. The only thing I can think of that could possibly unseat that, and I don't think it's not a card we have in the decks. It's one I've just made up. Is like an illusionist whose the only illusion they can do is the sound of a can of tuna opening. That might be like the one. That might be the one person who's in with a shot. Otherwise, I think that's pretty. It's pretty tight. It's pretty airtight.
Yeah.
All right.
And I would assume that the dire cat cares about tuna.
I mean, I think anything with cat in it is gonna instinctively know the sound of a manufactured can being punctured by a little hand crank device,
Yeah,
because
but
that's been part of their DNA for literally millions of years. Don't look it up.
So
Zach.
many animal facts today. That's really nice. This is
Yeah.
very
And
informative.
none of them are wrong, so that's really good too.
Yeah.
All right. So my pitch. I think by the time you get to be any kind of seasoned adventurer and know level up and be able to summon so much meat that it's infinite, I think this is a capable adventurer. So on that premise, I'd like to pitch the quest Heist the Horde of a Cheese Dragon. I don't know if this is the perfect man to heist a cheese dragon's horde, but I'm really interested in the horde made entirely of cheese mixed with unlimited meat. That sounds like a very nice day for the two of us to have unlimited charcuterie, effectively. So that's my pitch. I think we got to heist that cheese and then pair it with all these meats. That sounds like a great afternoon. I'll bring the wine if that helps sweeten the deal.
It does.
Is the
help.
dragon made of cheese, or is the dragon hoarding cheese?
The horde is of cheese, I believe.
Yes, the illustration actually clarifies this. I will get that up if you give me 1 second. Another thing that the illustrations do sometimes is we use them to clarify or indicate the approximate boundaries of a quest.
See, the thing is that while cheese and charcuterie sounds like a brilliant afternoon, if the Meatomancer is not the optimal adventurer, then you just have a dead Meatomancer and the dragon continues to have the horde of cheese. Or
I'm willing to roll those dice for this unlimited charcuterie plan. I feel like our bribes have mostly been flattery for Andy here, but I think I'm the first to offer unlimited anything, and I think that's a pretty nice snack. I'm feeling peckish.
I mean, it
pretty
is
good snack.
finite. It's a horde of cheese, which means that
The cheese is
will
finite,
end.
but unlimited meat.
Okay, I do have questions,
Sure.
and all of them are about the Meatomancer. It says he doesn't conjure meat, he summons meat. So presumably the meat is coming from somewhere. Where do we think that is? Let's think about that.
I don't
You
like
think
to know
he's
how the hot
actively
dog's made, if
summoning-
you will. I just want to eat it.
Do you think maybe there's an animal standing in a field and then just its flank disappears
Ideally, yes.
and then appears?
For cinematic value, absolutely.
But would it
Okay.
appear as just the animal or would it appear as meat? Because I think that was literally the question we asked at the beginning is do humans count? And we were said, no, it has to be dead meat. So are you summoning a steak off a chef's table? Or are you summoning a cow from a field? Or are you summoning a cow and in the transition process he becomes steak?
And I would assume that this guy is not paying for the meat he's summoning, so he's probably a wanted criminal. Is that going to come into play on the quest? Is the question.
I feel like
these
that
are
would
all
hit.
questions I'm thinking about.
That's questions for all of us, I think. I'm not worried about the ethics of where this meat comes from. If it's sustainably sourced or otherwise,
Okay.
I just want to eat it.
We're just really
And I wanna
trying to
share.
piss off PETA on this stream. Peter's like, I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is an omnivore based.
I was vegetarian for 7 years before I started dating my wife, who's Filipino. And marrying into a Filipino family will absolutely break your vegetarianism.
That also, we have that in common, Peter, in that we broke our vegetarianism for a woman. I was vegetarian for 2 years and started dating not a Filipino woman, but a Russian woman. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but she did want to go out to eat at places that served mostly meat all the time. So
I always had vegetarian options. I would just look at them and then look at like a really good like beef sinigang or chicken adobo and be like, that's better. That's just objectively better. So I got the upsell got me. The upsell. Yeah.
I was vegan
did-
for about a year and a half, and then realized after a year and a half I wasn't any healthier than I was a year and a half ago. In fact, I probably was less healthy, and decided that meat probably was helpful to keeping me alive.
there are certainly some things in meat that are, good for us.
I also remember being schooled by one of my indigenous friends quite soundly because, like, obviously when I talked about going vegan, there was the ethics element about it and the health. And then my friend, like my indigenous friends were like, I was talking, of probably being preachy because I was young and dumb. And they kind of were like, this is literally our life. Like, this is like our culture and our life. Like, we are not going to not eat meat. We're going to hunt and fish. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. And I think that kind of really helped get rid of, like, really helped challenge a lot of the dogma that exists around it.
Yeah. I mean, my whole thing is like just kind of like a minimizing harm thing, where it's like I don't have to eat meat and it's not that inconvenient for me not to. So like that is enough for me to have been vegetarian for a couple of years. But I am definitely just stalling for time to finish coloring this.
Well, I've got one more pitch for you.
Yeah. Remember, we
Okay.
forgot about it. Remember that we always forget the fourth person.
So
Okay.
I have a very similar pitch to Zach, but I think his is better. Well,
Off to a
I
great
don't know.
start.
Arguing against themselves today.
Mine might be safer, but we'll see. We'll see. So my pitch is I just have to update the little banner system here. Retrieve the cheese from inside an elaborate human-sized mousetrap. So there won't be as much cheese for our charcuterie day, but I had the exact same thought of like combined cheese and meat. It's gonna be a good time for everyone involved. And here's the deal. I am assuming that if we just summoned a heavy chunk of meat onto the pressure plate, but like avoid hitting the cheese, it'll set the pressure plate off in a way that will like detonate safely from a distance. And then you just go in, you pick up your meat, you pick up your cheese, you got charcuterie there, baby. Yeah, I absolutely think that this is a great pairing. I think it's a little bit safer than trying to heist the horde of a cheese dragon. Just because you don't have to deal with the whole dragon part. You just have to deal with an elaborate mousetrap, which as long as you drop something on that pressure plate, you're all good to go, baby. And yeah, and then you can summon whatever kinds of cheeses you want to, or whatever kind of meats you want to pair with that cheese, and it's gonna be a good time for everyone.
Andy, can Peter come to our infinite charcuterie day? Can we extend the invitation?
Yeah, I'll throw my pit. I'll throw away my pitch in this quest if I can come to charcuterie day.
Okay.
I will withdraw myself from the running if I can.
I mean, the other thing is you're assuming that the cheese is just prominently displayed on the trap. There's many different types of mouse traps. So if it's like a cage style mouse trap, once the trap is set off, the cheese is now just inside this cage.
I think I drew a pressure plate.
Yeah, but it's
Is that what I
unclear
drew?
what the pressure plate's attached to, which is good because it leaves
Yeah.
room for discussion.
It's ominous. Yeah.
I will show. Hold on.
There's like I drew some blood there just to imply it is dangerous. Yeah.
This is fun because I'm.
Fantastic.
That blood could be actually that I already got the quest. We already dropped the meat and then cleaned it up and reset a little bit of cheese there later. Like I think that the blood implies there that this quest and this rare stakes summoning magician were already a match made for each other.
Hold on real quick while I put a pit stain on this shirt.
Oh, I will remove this art.
There we go.
This back up.
This is fun because I'm seeing a bunch of art for the first time too.
Yeah.
I like how we're a 3, 4-ish 3 to 5 person creative group, and we still somehow operate in silos. little 1 person silos.
Yeah. I'm really tempted by this. Like if I'm talking about like who objectively has the best pitch, there's no way to get around the fact that you're going to be able to get those cats to do literally whatever you want them to do with unlimited
that.
meat. That's like, there's no way around that. So again, it's a question of like, what are my motivations as the quest or as the adventurer or person selecting here? A benevolent god or something. I think that I'm gonna give like honorable mention to the cat because like that's just, you did a really good job at the prompt and life isn't fair and you should have won. But I'm really sold on this charcuterie day. Like I'm getting excited. I'm thinking about like what I can bring.
You might die.
You know?
We're all forgetting the fact that there's no charcuterie cheese, Dave. You can't get the cheese from the dragon. You might just die in the act.
I think that theoretically, probably they could use the same playbook that you're going to use for the dire cats on the dragon, where like you just summon a bunch of its favorite food in a trail, leaving its cave.
It's a cheese hoarding dragon. It only wants cheese.
That's actually a really good point. Hold up, because this is going to get put to a vote, right? We're still going to have chat add votes if they want to. Andy gets 2 votes. So let's actually hear a rebuttal to that, because that's a really good point. Well, how are we actually going to deal with the dragon? My assumption was just that you were going to lure it out with meats, but it's a cheese hoarding dragon, not a meat hoarding dragon. How are we actually going to do the heisting?
Zach?
I was going to leave that in the capable hands of an experienced adventurer, but I don't think you get to a point where you can summon infinite anything without leveling up a bunch of times.
Andy, why don't I just also say you can accomplish your quest that you're going to gain, like win, hurting these 6 unimpressed dire cats. You're going to get paid for the job. You can either use it to just buy the cheese of your dreams and then, bring your meat and still have your charcuterie day, no risk to your life. Or once you, gain and level up some adventure points after hurting these unimpressed cats, then you can try the, level like 99 adventure of then trying to risk your life at the dragon. Tomorrow.
Okay. You've changed my mind. We'll see if you've changed everyone else's mind. I'll give it to the cats because really, I still believe that there is justice in this world, and that we should not cynically pursue our own immediate satisfaction. I listened to my devil stare for a minute. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to grow as a person. So then go ahead and vote chat for, again, I think we'll have you vote for the name just because it's shorter than coming up with a short form for each of the quests. So you go ahead and vote for Peter, Maroki, Eric, or Zach. It seems like the forerunners here are Maroki and Zach. And you can go ahead and vote in 3, 2, 1. And Andy has cast 2 votes for Maroki, which I think is going to be a hard lead to beat. In the meantime, though, I'm trying to think of if we should just have some kind of like terrible slogan on his, like a Kiss the Cook kind of apron or something like that, or like the King of the Grill. There was initially I had like stylistically decided to avoid writing anything on any of the cards, and then that rule kind of went away.
What if it's one of those aprons that makes it look like you're wearing like a Speedo?
Just like a sexy
in chat wanted stains on it too.
Ignore me. I don't think that's a good idea. I just wanted to say it out loud.
If you want some element, somebody in chat wanted grease and drippings on the apron.
Yeah. Good.
But that would mean the meat is cooked.
Or
is it raw meat or cooked meat?
A little unclear, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think
there are a lot of questions about this guy's powers.
I know, because like he's using a spatula, so like is it is he a metomancer by choice, or is he a metomancer because he's a failed necromancer?
Oh, that's interesting. This is like a weirdly specific subset of necromancy.
Are necromancers failed meatmancers?
The way that I drew him,
that could be too.
I believe it implies that he is like a backyard barbecue dad who decided, like, that kind of like a failed necromancer is certainly not the direction I was going for.
The meat's much less fresh if it's a failed necromancer.
When you were talking, Andy, saying you're avoiding drawing text, though, I can't remember. Our lovely shark with 2 legs. I remember that tattoo we put on the shark. Didn't we put some writing? Didn't we decide to call it like mom or shark? I can't remember what we decided because we were debating whether to call it mom or write like shark on it.
I don't remember.
Because it was the captain who lost his legs, and we think maybe the captain was like in love with the shark or some shit. Wait, okay, what?
I cannot zoom in enough to tell.
It's too long to be mom. I think that's got to be shark. But mom would let us still put the art if we.
It might just be an arrow through a heart or something.
No, I thought we decided words.
I know we talked about it. I don't know if we actually did it.
All right, hold on.
I'm pretty sure I see the word.
I won't be able to screen share this, but I will take a closer look. Where's our shark guy here?
These are the Easter eggs that nobody asked.
I definitely did write.
It says shark.
Yeah, I definitely did use text in other ones since I had that rule in my head. So it's like I have not stuck to that rule, even not including that one. I decided, I agreed he needed some kind of cute and catchy slogan on his apron, so I've put the most clever thing I could think of,
meat,
which is the word meat.
Love it.
I am a comedy writer for a living.
It's good stuff.
All right, well, let's do one more of these, and then we'll call it a wrap. By the way, in case you're coming in part way or you've jumped through the replay, we are live drawing Dungeon Tryouts Adventurer cards with Mr. AC Stuart. He is drawing adventurers, and we are doing the reverse of how our D&D-themed party game Dungeon Tryouts normally works. Normally what you do is you're an adventuring agent, you've got a handful of adventurers, and you're trying to pitch them for zany fantasy quests. In this wackadoo version, because he is drawing adventurers, we are actually pitching quests for those adventurers. A quest that will be a good first quest for them, that will make them feel as accomplished as possible while minimizing their chances of failure. And that is how we are playing this wackadoo version of the game. If you are interested in playing Dungeon Tryouts, you can make a late pledge to our Kickstarter project at dungeon-tryouts.com. And all late pledges do count towards our stretch goals, and we have one stretch goal left to unlock, which is to have a guest.
We actually have two, Peter. We actually have two.
Oh, what's the other one?
The other one is, I did literally scroll past that like top speed. Our final one is creating character sheets where you can get free PDFs of D&D character sheets for 3 adventures.
Right.
So we're going to create character sheets based on the adventures. That will unlock at $240,000, but we are just under $8,000 to unlock the War and Peace guest card, rounding out our guest card expansion pack to 18 cards total.
Yeah. So we'd love to see both of those stretch goals unlocked. You can help us out by making a late pledge at dungeon-tryouts.com.
Yes. And then very shortly afterwards, sorry, Peter, I don't mean to interrupt. And very shortly afterwards, sometime early November, we will be opening Pledge Manager. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Pledge Manager, it is an opportunity for you to provide all the important information to make sure that when it's time for us to fulfill that your Dungeon Tryouts and all the expansions and all the wonderful goodies like t-shirts, pins, what they have you can arrive safely on your doorstep. So that's when we're going to get things like the shipping information, where you live, and also an opportunity for you to upgrade your pledge if you're looking at adding more Dungeon Tryout goodies to your life, to your treasure trove, to your treasure box, to your hoard. All those words.
Hoard.
Insert synonyms here.
Alrighty. And I'm just going to pull up our last prompt here that we can vote for to see what Andy is going to draw.
Do we ever have the final tally for the last quest?
I won.
Oh yeah, Murky won. Yeah, Murky.
Thank you, Wyvern.
3 votes.
Yay!
3 votes to no one else.
Yay! I think Wyvern was also pledge number 1 or 1 or 2.
Very early.
Very early.
Day 1.
Day 1.
All
Day
right.
1, number 1.
So we have got 3 choices this time for the last quest. Andy, your vote now only counts for 1. We have a bard from the College of Trash Talking. We have a turtle person on their 17th cup of coffee. And we have a cat person who is clearly a furry with no cat-like abilities. I will add that Andy is well known to the furry community as an artist, and this is in his wheelhouse. All right, so go ahead and vote in the chat for either bard, turtle person, or cat person. In 3, 2, 1, go. And let's have our esteemed panel of players here also each cast a vote for what they would like Andy, this time you can go first.
Okay. Options were cat person, turtle person, and bard. They're all good. They're all great. The bard will probably be the most dynamically funny. Although I have drawn a lot of men today. Just like normal men. Just normal men.
We could do
just innocent men.
My notes for the trash talking bard was that it was kind of like a Macho Man Randy Savage type wrestler holding a mic,
which I think is great. A great direction for it.
We could always change what goes on the artwork gender wise. Like we could have like a female wrestler in a similar getup. But Monster Man Randy Savage is pretty direct.
Monster Man Randy Savage.
That's what he's called. That's his name.
So all right, well let's hear. So Andy, what you're voting for the bard?
Yeah, but I am also happy with the cat person, which seems to be the only other vote so far.
Okay, so a half vote for the cat person and a half vote for the bard.
1.5.
Okay, Zach.
I was going to vote for turtle person, but now I'm sounding awfully contrarian.
Okay,
yeah,
one vote.
I like them all this time.
One vote.
Just that one guy on council always votes no matter what. That's me.
I was going to vote the turtle person, Zach, so you weren't deliberately being contrarian.
Okay, so it's 2 votes for turtle person and then half a vote for the other ones. Eric?
I was going to go for the cat person.
Okay. I was going to go for the trash talker. So we are at 1.5, and 2.
I think it's the turtle.
No, I thought it was a cat because Wyvern voted for cat.
Oh, you're right.
And then a turtle vote, which doesn't quite equalize because of the half thing. So I believe it goes to the cat person.
Okay.
All right, Andy, we are drawing one more time. A cat person who is clearly a furry with no cat-like abilities.
Okay.
Thank you.
Shame to the furry community. Then. Shame to this person for not learning how to adapt.
All right.
Andy, do you know the dog guy in Japan who like the person who decided he basically wanted to become a dog?
And when we say do you know, we mean do you know personally? We assume that you're friends.
As he commissioned something.
You know, Ralph.
I can't say that I do.
Now, is that you can't because of the confidentiality agreement you signed, or you can't because you don't?
It really, it's the topic is making me uncomfortable. No, what? No, please tell me about the person who.
There's a man in Japan who basically one day decided that he didn't want to be human anymore and wanted to become a dog, and was going to live out the rest of his life being a dog. And he commissioned this super custom, incredibly expensive dog suit that he now permanently lives in. And he just literally lives his life as a dog. Like he just walks around on all fours and has someone take care of him and is a dog.
I'll be so honest. I didn't realize that was an option, and you've given me a lot to think about.
Yeah, you can look him up. Maybe you he won't talk anymore because now he's a dog. But maybe you'll
very
have
committed.
You'll have like literally like he's just, as far as I know, he's a dog. What as much of a dog as a man in a dog suit can possibly be. But I'm sure you can look him up and shadow him, and I'm sure with enough effort you can also find who made his dog suit.
Okay, and is there a version of this where I get to be human, but I don't have to work and somebody takes care of me?
I mean, that's called sugar baby.
Okay.
Tell me more.
Tell me more about that.
You don't even need to become a dog. You can stay a human and just become a trophy husband.
It's like that's basically just called money.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, but you don't.
Yeah.
But when you're a sugar baby or if you're a trophy husband, you don't need to be the one making the money because that requires the working part. You want someone to take care of you, and that doesn't
this person definitely needs to be wearing a con badge.
Nice.
Okay, I guess
we should
before
do
we get
pitches.
too deep into men in dog suits.
Yeah.
Too late.
Where's my hand?
I wonder if this character would be a pretty good pitch for luring the cats into the cage too.
I don't know. With no cat-like abilities, and the cats are unimpressed, it'll just make the cat even more impressed.
I don't know if this is an accurate rendition of a fursuit. I've seen so many, you'd think I would know better.
All right, I have mine ready.
I'm good.
I am ready.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with this one mostly because I like the prompt. I like the quest more. Whether or not I'll win is another thing.
Well, you are up first with our rotating lead, so
Oh.
go ahead and tell us about your pitch.
So my pitch for the quest is to map a reef where the fish have human faces, and it's honestly horrifying. And I think it's great because we have a cat being hanging out with fish, but normally fish would run away from the cat. But if the cat has no cat-like abilities or cat-like behaviors, it'll probably make it way more easy, especially if the cat is going to still have human dexterity to draw a map, not be tempted by the fish. So you'll want to map it out. And who knows? It says the fish have human faces, but we don't know. And like, you know what? I could even surmise that with human faces means there's some sort of human intellect in the fish too. So it'll be like a really good hangout experience.
Okay.
Think about it. It's like two creatures in cosplay.
My immediate question is, have you ever tried to swim in a fursuit?
Yeah, I was going to say dexterity. I don't think that's a strength.
You have to map the reef.
Dexterity in a waterlogged fursuit sounds like a way to do a hate crime against a furry.
No, you have to map the reef. Oh, like you can like look in from above.
Okay. You've given me a lot to think about. I might reject the premise that the human face implies intelligence, because I know a lot of people with human faces who are not intelligent.
I mean, there's some pretty strong expression in that fish, though, Andy. Like there was there was like intense skepticism behind those eyes, and that requires thought.
That's the fish's resting skeptic face.
Well, what about like a piece of toast with Jesus on it? Does that have intelligence? I mean, it's just the presence of a face.
Just the one that had Jesus' face on it. I think just that.
What about Shibani, the handsome gorilla?
I would like to speak up in on behalf of this quest pitch, because I do think that the addition of the convention badge, this person is used to navigating really complicated spaces. And they are used to having to read maps that were done by someone who didn't get enough sleep, like 20 minutes before the deadline for sending that map to print. They are actually probably fairly equipped for a cartography-based quest. I still don't have an answer for the whole waterlogged thing. Other than maybe you get a few minutes of grace where like it's not waterlogged and you have a lot of air in the suit, helping you float for a while. But I think that power goes away over time.
If you were pitching a Scaly to map this reef, I'd be fully on board.
I mean, honestly, when you're mapping a reef anyways, you're not looking at traveling very fast. You have to spend a lot of time mapping. So if you're hanging out in the waterlogged suit in the water, like it's probably fine. You just need a breathing apparatus. All you need is a snorkel, and the rest is just moving slowly. It gives you actually ample periods of time to map the reef.
I think if you get into the water in a fursuit, the music from Sonic starts to play and it counts down and you just drown.
Yeah. I like that one. That's good. I also think that furries are like the most aggressively accepting people I've ever met in my life. So I think they would be okay with the fish. I don't think they would be weirded out by the fish.
Perfect.
Good point.
That's an important consideration.
Perfect. I couldn't have even thought of it better myself. Thank you, Andy, for really understanding why this quest is perfect.
You're welcome.
For formalities, we'll let everyone else pitch their quest.
Yeah.
Frankie's calling her shots again. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, really coming out strong there. But yeah, Zach, go ahead. What do you got for
Yeah,
us?
so my quest is to take 10 punches from an animated boxing glove full of nickels.
Nice.
I think the
A lot of
fursuit
padding on the
will be
seat.
good protection. I think that's some extra padding. I think they're the person for the job.
This sounds like you are intentionally
No,
trying to target
doesn't
a
sound great.
sub-community. Yeah.
I just think they can tough it out. They're used to taking it, I don't know,
They're used to
They
giving.
used to take it on the chin.
from
They're
society.
they're used to giving hugs, not being beaten down.
Hugs, not slugs.
I'm curious
Look, it was
about that
that or-
quest. Like, what is the purpose of that quest? Because normally, you get the cheese or you get the cats in the crate or something. Like, what do you tangibly gain from taking the punches?
I mean, you don't
Like,
animated
who's-
boxing gloves full of nickels. They're just
who's-
gonna punch things. Someone's
Okay,
gotta take those jabs.
they've got like 10 charges of punches that need to be spent.
It's really basically just like it's just fantasy Wipeout where like some guy with too much money wants to see people do things that they probably shouldn't, but will pay you at the end of it.
Fair.
In nickels.
Also, how incredible would the combination of this card and this card be? I think it's great.
They're sharing a knowing look.
I feel like the punching glove, the animated punching glove with nickels, could be an adventurer who needs to punch the horrifying fish face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a strong argument just in terms of like the padding. That's a very fair point.
But looking at this image, your cat person is very lean. Like the costume, it's like this is like a sleek feline cat. This is not like the big old puffy like furry suits. This one is like the ones that are like, you glue a little bit of fur on top of a leotard or like a skin suit. So those punches are gonna take a rib out.
Most fursuits that I have seen look like they've got some pretty thick quality construction to them. I haven't seen too many of the leotard type. I just think that's.
But even with a thick-ish quality construction, so some of them they build the bulk out, so there's some space. But this looks very skin tight. So even if it's close to the body, the impact of the punch alone is still going to do some damage to you on the other side.
Look, in our next live stream, we'll have Andy facing the Roomba with the knife. I'll take the 10 hits from an animated boxing glove full of nickels just to prove that a really skinny dude can. This is no problem. This would be even better if I had a fursuit, which I don't. But I'll take the punches right now, like this, in a dumb floral print shirt.
Nice.
For $5. Again, donate $5.
We have just turned our entire business model into doing weird fight streams.
That'll be our next business model.
All right. Well, I'll pitch next here. My pitch is to host a dinner party for a group of discerning vampires. Mostly, I just think this would be a great sitcom. I don't actually think it's going to go well. I just want to see it happen. So I'm pitching it more for the entertainment value than for the successful quest. That said, if the vampires don't like what's going on, they decide they're going to feast on their host. They're just going to puncture the cat suit. Ain't nothing for them to drain because we got that little bit of the padding out, and everybody's safe. So I just think it'd be a great sitcom. I'm now taking pitches for what the title of the sitcom should be. I think Hell Hath No Furry is my favorite.
It's really good.
But there could be some other options. End of pitch. I won't be taking questions.
Who we do in the shadows.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I'm going to take a moment to note that the head of the cat suit is clearly separate from the body by the seam line, and so if the vampires do want to take the cat, I think they just need to pull slightly to reveal a healthy jugular.
That is also how water could enter the suit very quickly and flood. I think that hurts all of us, is what I'm saying, I guess.
No, but you can keep the head above
No, I think the head getting punched off would be a very bad opening thing for you.
Apologies to everybody who came before, but I do have the winning pitch. In fact, I thought about going for the quest to repair the air conditioning in a villain's volcano base, because who knows more about high-tech cooling systems than people who have to keep themselves cool in these suits. The pitch that I'm actually going with is design a dating profile for an eldritch horror, including a photo.
Okay, yeah.
No notes.
That's really good. That's really strong.
Nobody knows how hard it can be to find compatibility online than furries. Very understanding, as you already pointed out. Just will put all of their effort to sincerely help this eldritch horror find love, and will give it full effort and knows that there is somebody out there for everybody.
I remember the card for this pitch, and I'm like, I can imagine them talking, and the furry being like, "Oh, do you want to take off your fursuit for one of the pictures?" He's like, "What? What suit?"
Nice.
Yeah. That's just like such a self-evidently strong pitch. It's really good, and also just like a thing that I think should happen.
That's also a sitcom I'd want to watch.
Yeah.
It's very strange that this eldritch horror actually has a fish. Why does the fish not have a human face on it?
Well, that's a good point. That would have been a good callback.
That's a good callback. Andy, I might use up some of our revision hours on that.
I just think that's like, the de facto bad thing men do on dating apps is post pictures with their fish that they've caught, or their dead animals that they've killed. And so it's just like, what if it's Cthulhu, but he's doing the thing every guy who's bad at dating apps does?
That's really good. That's one of my favorites I've seen you do.
Yeah.
You should have put him in plaid as well.
I also just, I was going to write like 1 million, but then I'm like, the joke doesn't read. I'm just going to make him 32.
32 is the perfect age where a man is like starting to reopen their hinge apps if they haven't, to like find true love.
Like,
as a man with a hinge app full of fish photos, I can attest to that.
Nice.
Parts of that statement are true.
It's because he's such a catch.
No, unacceptable.
He will devour your brains on the first date.
All right. Well, do any questions for any of the candidates here, Andy?
Mm-hmm. Does anybody want to officially back someone else's pitch, like with their own motivation or reasoning?
Well, if I don't, I look like a monster, so I vote for Eric's. Yeah, hit him is not a great pitch.
I think like in terms of
literally punching down,
I feel like Maroki wants it most. Like,
that's been true of every single prompt.
Yeah, I think that's just how
the nature of the game we're playing. That's
just how Maroki shows up when it's competition.
Fair.
True.
Okay, so what you're saying is I shouldn't factor that. Just who wants it most is not a factor.
I mean, it's always.
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with sore losers, do you? It ruins the whole like vibe of the evening.
So your argument is if I lose, I will be a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be pleasant to be around if I don't win this.
We tried bribery, but have we tried threats yet? No.
Yeah, you're right.
Two sides of the same coin. Well, absent any other arguments, I think I'm gonna give it to the dating app. And I apologize. I'm watching myself in the stream delay, like rubbing my eyes and like my nose. I feel such bad allergies today.
You say you'll give it to that like you have more than one vote now. But we still do have to ask
I forgot. Democracy is over.
All right. So Andy's one vote goes that way, but we'll have a chat. You can go ahead and vote for Peter, for Maroki, for Eric, or you can't vote for Zach. He has withdrawn himself from the running, so as not to promote beating on furries. And we can go ahead and vote in 3, 2, 1, go.
I would say that without mapping the reef, that eldritch horror would have never had that fish in his hand to begin with for that photo.
The eldritch horror that's as old as time itself.
And 32. AKA, you know how old he is? He saw Ratatouille in theaters.
Oh my god.
Well, Wyvern voted for Eric, so I feel like
I think that cements it.
It's like he's puppeting him by pulling on his hair. That doesn't make any sense.
woohoo!
Well, that's a three-way tie then, I believe, between Moroki, Eric, and Zach.
No, it's
Everybody
actually-
wins.
I have 2.
Oh, Eric wins.
I don't think I got any.
Well,
I
congratulations to
withdrew too
Eric.
many times.
You
I
won our Tryouts dungeon, the backwards version of Dungeon Tryouts.
Woohoo!
Mhm.
I won with a tiny mammoth and the power of love.
Mm.
Nice.
I tried to win with hate crimes, and it didn't lead to much.
And let that
Let
be,
this be a lesson.
for everybody.
Yeah. Hate crimes don't pay.
Nor does being vegan or vegetarian.
And spiders can fly. And what was our other animal fact?
I
Oh,
don't think
spiders
spiders
are
can fly. I
hydraulic.
think they have hydraulic legs.
No,
Mhm.
spiders with 8 nunchucks can fly.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
Sorry,
yes, you're right.
obviously.
Yes,
Dungeons
sorry,
and
you're right.
Dragons, I think
Yeah.
hydraulic legs. There's a man who's a dog in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Animal facts.
cats for millions of years have been getting used to the sound of cans opening, can openers opening cans of tuna.
And Cthulhu's 32 years old, so cats
Yeah.
predate Cthulhian horrors.
I mean, you know what? That tracks though. Cats have literally been like praised as gods for like thousands of millennia before we even talked about eldritch horrors. Do we see like hieroglyphic artwork or ancient artwork of eldritch horrors, or do we see them of cats?
Great point.
It's possible we see both. I feel like there's got to be some ancient artwork of something that's like, I wouldn't want to fight that.
I don't know. The ROM says otherwise.
I mean, I guess there's a lot of like Greek like sea monsters, but cats are probably
Yeah.
there first.
There's also a lot of Greek cats.
Yeah, there are.
But all the like titans and the monstery things from the nether realms that the
I don't
gods
know.
have to fight.
Titans are titans, but titans aren't eldritch horrors.
I think they're chthonic entities though. Like they come from the deep places, the deep and ancient places.
But I think like eldritch horrors are horrors, right? So like those will have infinity face and lots of scary tentacles.
My canonical depiction of the Titans is the Disney's Hercules ones. They look pretty like shadow monstery to me. They look pretty like tenebrous and
Weren't they
whatnot.
elementals?
They were basically
Yeah,
elemental.
one was just like a volcano man, and then a tornado man, and then like
One
an ice
was-
man.
Just the Cyclops for some reason, I think.
No, so Cyclops wasn't a Titan. Cyclops
Yeah,
was like
early in the movie.
Cyclops was like a grunt.
Was he?
Yeah, so
Okay.
like there was like the Titans, and then they like brought forth the Cyclops to muck about with Hercules, but he wasn't a Titan. He was just like a grunt.
And they all have their catchphrase. I remember now. Like the Frozen one, it just yells "freeze," and the other one yells "smash." I don't.
Oh,
I
I,
remember. Me too.
Burn
Yeah.
him, blow him away.
I
What
only
killed the
remember them-
dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
I only remember them
Yes.
being like Zeus.
Yeah, they said that what they would do to Zeus as well.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah,
Tornado says like blow him away,
yeah. That's what I'm thinking of.
free Zeus, crush him, melt him.
I think I was still ESL when I watched Hercules, so I don't actually remember a lot of words in Hercules.
Yeah,
I just remember
and these,
every
of
word to
course,
the song
this
Go the
Hercules,
Distance
of
for
course,
some
is
reason.
a movie that everybody,
Very little
everybody
else.
in our chat will know and have seen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They
All
haven't
of Ratatouille
made you feel old.
Ratatouille, you've definitely seen.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Ratatouille, then Hercules is like ancient history to you.
Hey,
Why
remember
do
the
I know all
Disney
those words
Vault?
still? That's crazy.
Wild. Well, this was fun. Thank you all for participating. Thank you, chat, for joining us and voting and for adding little suggestions for adornments for the art. I love that we've got our grease-stained Metomancer. Thank you, Andy, for being a vulnerable expert and drawing live in front of people. It's always really cool to see someone who's very good at their craft do it in front of people and show the process. You are eerily good at doing this, and it's such a cool thing to see an illustration come together live. And if you have not already pledged Dungeon Tryouts and you like the look of this silly fun game, you can make a late pledge at dungeon-tryouts.com. All late pledges will contribute towards unlocking our stretch goals, including a guest illustration from Warren Pease, and actually releasing character sheets, so there's like playable characters and or NPCs for some of the wacky adventurers that went into the game.
I also believe if you're gonna miss Andy drawing all the characters because he's doing many of them, on a daily basis, week by week. I believe you can catch Andy on Twitch as well, right, Andy? If you want to shout out your weekly, bi-weekly Twitch stream.
I've been on a little bit of a hiatus for the last couple months, but ostensibly twitch.tv/Awoo streams. I'll type it in the YouTube, and
Did I
in
just
an
put
ideal
pressure on
world,
you?
in an ideal world, I would be streaming, every weekday.
Every
But
weekday?
yeah,
Okay. Well, you
keep an eye out.
I have now
If you hit
outed
follow.
Andy. Yeah, I've now
Yeah.
outed Andy and put pressure on him to start his stream again. But if you follow him on Twitch, you can catch him there doing a live drawing on the regular, and maybe you'll catch some Dungeon Tryouts characters show up on those streams.
Could be. It could happen. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.